All right. I know I am not the most political VTuber out there. There are other VTubers more well suited to this, but hey, Shoe is speaking, so we're back on the ShoeOnHead reaction. This time, how did we get here? And I'm assuming it's about the United States election shit. I don't know. It's kind of hard to follow the stuff because over here it's so weird. Anyways, as usual, link to the original will be down below. Make sure you support the original. I am just here to find out what the hell's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo, and in the New York
Who the fuck's the last one? I am sorry. He just...
City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states?
Probably not. Somehow this feels orchestrated.
Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people now?
No.
Did they finally learn their lesson?
No.
Thanks for watching. My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat and die movement, spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working-class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing.
I do feel like the system overall, like a lot of these systems, are just broken at this point in time, just because of how much technology and social media has influenced everything now. I feel like the system is somehow might be just broken in some form. I don't know how. I'm not a professor. I'm not a genius or anything. I just feel like in my gut that something's just not right with the system anymore.
And it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP or...
Well, it might have something to do with the senile old man in charge of the country right now. Like, I feel like... This is just me spitting my own ideas here because, again, like I said, I'm not a political VTuber. There's other VTubers more well-suited to this than me. But I feel like the age cap for running for presidency or world leaders should be stopped at 60. Like, if you are entering age of retirement, you should not be running a country. If you're past the age of retirement, you should be retired. That should be the end of it. Like, that's, you just can't run anymore if you pass retirement age. That's the way I look at it, because mental facilities and body just start to decline after that point. Like, it's just a proven fact. Not everyone's gonna be like The Rock or Arnold Schwarzenegger and just be able to keep trucking until like they're in the ground, basically. But no, I just feel like there should be between a certain age group where you can run for world leader, and after that point you can't. You're still like in the know-how with the young and still in the know-how with the old is the age kind of group I'm looking at. I don't know, that's just me, anyways.
Ready. But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats have a plan to scoop these people up? Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win. Deciding to win, as if the whole time they have just been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zoran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of Shoecialism. If that sounds interesting.
When is Shoe gonna run? Just putting that up there. When's she actually gonna run for a position sometime? I feel like out of all the people that's been on these platforms, she might have the most brains, and I get it. She does YouTube videos and stuff and whatnot, but like she seems to be one of the smarter people on YouTube. I'm just saying. like over here I barely understand how the system works, and it's just like you could be voting and doing your vote, casting your votes and stuff, and it'll come over like your news like, oh, the person's already been declared the winner. It's like, how? The votes haven't even been counted yet. Fuck off. It's annoying. It's an annoying system and I don't like it.
Stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything. But Baka. I know a lot of you are not very
She said this thing.
Interested in politics. You come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men versus women content. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives.
Yeah, no matter what now, like, I'm at the age where no matter what I do, I cannot escape the bullshit because it's just in your face in the news and everything now. And if you're, like, a social media user such as, like, Twitter or Blue Sky, I forgot what it's called for a second there, if you're on any of these things, it just shows up. Like, you cannot escape it. It's just everywhere. And unfortunately, politics is one of those things, big unfortunate, like, as you're a young teenager, you can ignore. Like, you don't have to have any responsibilities yet. Like, live that way you can. All power to you. Enjoy those years, etc., etc. But when you're an older adult, it's kind of like, well, this might potentially affect my way of living. Well, fuck.
Whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it, and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors to work with, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app.
I don't know why the wig and the glasses really sells it for her. It's just funny that she changes everything up for her ad reads. It's interesting and eye-catching, so it is effective.
App that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the White House apparently intervened in an Andrew Tate federal probe. 29 news sources covered this. 86% of them were left-wing. None were right-wing. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline reads, Elon Musk claps back at Billie Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth. And this left-wing article frames the same story as, Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes. Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since
The vibe I got from that is Elon's just like, man. Elon's one of those guys that has so much money that it's non-sensual for how much money one person should have. I think you should be capped at like 1.5 million. That's all you could ever have, because you don't need more. If that was done, I think things would be a lot better. I don't know. I am just thinking out my cat ahead.
2021 because it is just a great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description down below. It's only like $5 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee.
$5 a month, but that's USD. That's the only thing I have all these things that people get advertised for. It's always in USD, so when you do the currency conversion, it's usually almost double that. But hey, whatever. It's actually not terrible. Not great, not terrible.
You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it.
A year,
the perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
You didn't skip the ad,
right? Now
No, but another thing I can say about this thing, like, if I'm walking through, like, a grocery store and stuff, and you know how at checkout they have all the magazine racks and stuff? I can also notice half the time all these different magazines from different things. This is like a bunch of them will have like the same story coverage, but it'll all be completely different like twists on it. It's like, the shit flinging never ends.
Now let's get back to the video. For those of you familiar with the ShoeOnHead channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career. Some say too harshly. Frankly, I don't care.
I don't know, Shoe, I haven't looked back on a lot of your older stuff. I have seen some of it only because it's crossed my feed because reasons. I was looking for reviews and stuff, and you showed up, so that's how I found.
Some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest, that's not why you come.
No, you're harsh on everyone, Shoe. You don't take sides. It doesn't matter. If someone fucks up, you'll call them out on it. It's true. She basically does call them out on the stupidity.
I'm here. You go to Kyle Kalinske for that. Just like you go to Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN.
I don't even know who that is either.
Or to Hassan for dog training tips.
Oh no. Oh no.
You come here to hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left-wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually getting their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're one of those people, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand why Trump won. It's actually extremely understandable why Zohran Mamdani won, and it's not just because New York is full of commies or whatever.
I feel like Trump won because he was able to take those memes and shit about him and just run with it. He didn't care until after he got in the office. Then he was like, I don't like those memes anymore.
He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the bar is in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic. And people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course,
yeah, she's not wrong. Like, a lot of the things are too old, but I feel like this dude might be too young. I don't know. That's why I'm a little unsure of where. I feel like people running for like these political positions should be at least 40 plus and still have to retire before like 60. Like, if you're at 60 or beyond, you cannot run, period, is how I feel like it should be done. It would keep the system, like I said earlier, it would keep it more in line with what's in with the times and what's still old enough to be considered with the old people still, kind of thing. I don't know, this is the way I look at it. Instead of having a bunch of old people running the world, it's just like... Because, like, Trump's almost the same age as Biden was before they bullied him out for being too old. And so it's kind of like, all right, I hope the people do the same thing, but hey, they probably won't.
of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but I don't think the good left-wing policies can even—
That one makes no sense, to take down like statues and stuff of people who actually founded areas and whatnot. It's like, yeah, they may have not been the greatest people, but like this shit happened hundreds of years ago. Nobody gives a shit today about it because it doesn't affect anyone today in reality.
Even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out? You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean? It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island and I go to the CVS and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way.
I have never heard of this. People are stealing shampoo and toothpaste in places? Wild times over there.
Maybe he'll do great. Or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people. I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
you killed a shit ton of people. Bro, what? Plus, he doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey, at least I'm not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision.
Yeah, well, so far Trump's making it great again has not been working out for the old man. Like the idea, the slogan, perfect. Like, it's great on paper, but unless you're actually doing it and doing it well, I don't know. The last great guy, like I said, was Carter. And he was doing stuff up until he couldn't do stuff.
A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People...
No one can afford to live in New York. No one can afford to live where I am even, and I'm not even in New York.
Wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate about New York City, and 80% of it is about another f***ing country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my fourth trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew Zoran was going to win.
Yeah, because that's like, I can't exactly cite the citation because I'm just quoting hearsay about Poland, looking out for Poland. When you start looking out for the people and you actually do back up the people and look after the people, you will be seen in a good light. You will do good. Even if you get kind of oppressed by the greed and other, like, crap that's happening, that seems to be infested everywhere right now, the greed and corruption. If the people can actually do good and come to power that are good, it reinstates faith in the people. So if he actually sticks by some of his words and actually helps out and does good on some of his word, he'll be fine. He'll do fine. Like, he can't fuck up any worse than the last people have, basically.
Bro was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're like, where would you go? And
he was literally main character, and the rest were just like, hey, I have a quest for you.
Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that question. His win was very much in part a direct response to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis.
Of course. Well, if this Trump official just idiots.
It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who...
Dude, lady, I'm pretty sure you make well enough money and you're getting your friends and family gifts, so you can STFU.
Are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the banks.
Zoran's win was also basically a direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook that Zoran Mamdani is selling? Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game change.
But you're not going to be alive. You're not going to be working by the time that happens. By the time you start paying a house, you're already like in your 20s or just about to be in your 20s. It makes no fucking sense because by the time you're done paying it off, it's time to retire. So you'd have to buy a house day one and pay it off, basically. It seems like, I don't know how mortgages work, but that it just sounds stupid.
Sure. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50.
Okay, the 50 and 40 are the exact same fucking thing. So what's the point? 30-year mortgage. Jeez. If I was to start paying for a 30-year mortgage now, I would basically be guaranteed to be deceased by the time it was time to be paid off.
Years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest. That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No, just being a good little slave to the bank for 50 years.
Okay, with the housing crisis, with and all that, I feel like a lot of builders, okay, I'm going on a tangent because I don't usually go on a tangent. I feel like a lot of builders are just, at least here, they're avoiding building like apartment complexes in favor of condos. Because condos basically get to follow the HOA here, basically, because you have to follow a condo contract. So it's basically the same as the HOA over in the United States. Long story short. So, like, and the reason is they do this is because they get paid per building made here instead of, like, per unit for an apartment complex. So it's just, like, I get from the construction standpoint why they're doing it, but the long-term solution is not solving anything. It's just proving that this company is just greedy and doesn't care about anything else, and they're not solving anything. But hey, whatever. As long as those people building those condos get paid, and the condos aren't even selling. That's the funny part. Some of them, that the lands they broke ground on, they didn't finish because not enough people bought into them for them to be finished, because they overspent their construction budget in anticipation that these things would be sold as they were being built. And that's not being the case anymore. No one wants them because you guys spend, like, I think close to $1 million for a condo here where I live, which is stupid.
You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z?
That sounds very familiar what you said before, though, about some of the other shit, Shoe, and I don't like it.
Vote for us. We'll release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein files phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein files are on my desk. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's what we've been waiting for.
Multiple blonde wings? Wings?
Well? Oh, they don't exist. Wait,
Of course.
what? Yeah, the Epstein files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax.
How they? Wait. How is this shit fake or a hoax when Trump himself said he had the files? And it's just like, again, one of those things where it might actually be a hoax, and they said whatever they could say just to get into that position. I don't know. I hate politics.
But you just said, hey, what the fuck? That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer? Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. The Epstein files are a really big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international child trafficking blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world.
The only reason I can see why it doesn't exist is because too many people that are in power would be called out. That's the only reason I can see why it's not happening is because.
And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation. Okay, so literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files.
Bullshit.
So I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already gonna be more things that have happened. Also, Mike Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent damage to the political system.
AK, we gotta censor this because we have people that are in the political system that are in on it, is what it sounds like.
If releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed. Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But it wasn't just the Epstein files thing that has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages...
He looks horrible. He looks like he's ready to keel over.
For American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
Shut up, you fucking old geezer.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video. The no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize. Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation.
This is also why I am scared of the robot workers, because once big companies get a hold of those and are able to replace the actual human workers, that's it. It's done. We were in the dystopian future timeline where you can only hope that we can transition into the Terminator timeline at that point.
Essentially creating infinite scab labor, even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea.
Yeah, this is another reason why I don't like Trump. He's a businessman. It doesn't make him a good world leader.
We have hundreds of thousands of...
Not to mention he's a businessman. He's went bankrupt how many times?
Foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does...
See, yeah, like I said, I view it as a business. Dude, it's not a business. It's a country, you... Ugh, I hate these old people. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's like I feel like these old people are so out of touch with the times and they don't get it anymore.
Does feel like...
I know I'm old in terms of VTuber years, but like, I feel like I'm a bit still in touch with the times and some of these old people running the countries are. Maybe not. I don't know. Like again, like I said, I am not a political VTuber, and I'm sure someone will correct me on my nonsense or my crazy rants.
Nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation.
Exactly.
The contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the...
He actually looks healthier back then. I don't know if his face was like Botoxed or what, but maybe time has just taken it back to the old man.
The Middle East. They lied.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is almost 10 years ago too, so shit, I didn't realize 2016. Yeah, that's almost a decade ago already. Shit.
Said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at the time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul.
Yeah, Trump's just an angry orange man.
But to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was shit he never fixed or addressed, really.
Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by...
I'm pretty sure Trump was the typical yes man. He told people what they wanted to hear, like a used car salesman, so they would actually buy into it. But hey, I don't know. Like I said, he's a businessman, not really a leader.
Either party in a very long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump country there now. Before Trump...
God.
Oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. 1 second. 1 second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34-year-old woman, by the way.
God, I keep forgetting I'm older than you, Shoe. Now, understandable. Nuggies are good. Nuggies are like life. Sometimes you just need some good nuggies, and it's just like bliss. Same for me with a good pizza or a good burger. Like, sometimes I know junk food's not good for you, but it's comfort food for a reason.
Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the
I'm pretty sure they still don't care about the working class, because the rich just keep getting richer, it feels like.
Working class didn't care about them. But now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about...
Why do you look like a Trump clone? You have the same, like, puffy face, the same kind of hair going on. Why do all politicians just look the fucking same? I hate to say it. Like, it's not quite the same. He's like a younger Trump.
Where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. What? Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be? Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis, wreaking havoc on Americans, is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. What? I mean, that is a real thing.
Who the fuck are
I know
you?
that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up.
Yeah. It's thanks to fucking the current leaders who have fucked up the places we live. We shouldn't have to leave because of them. They should have to leave because they fucked up.
The reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Ah yes, the classic. Just move. Just move from Economic Zone 67 to
I have no idea who the hell that guy was either.
Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually
funny number.
Like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no.
This is like people I knew who said, oh, I'm gonna move out to so-and-so. They did that, came back a year later because there was nothing out there. Because that dream had died years ago.
No, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village.
My whole reasoning for not wanting a kid, well, it's actually a few reasons. One, I don't want another one of me running around. I know how much of a pain in the ass I was for my mother and grandmother and whatnot. And most of my extended family doesn't exist anymore. Like, one of the realities of being an older VTuber, and, well, an older person in general, like, people don't last forever, unfortunately. And, yeah, it's just like, I wouldn't want to put a child through what hellscape this world is coming into. Like, unless we can fix it first, I don't want to have an offspring.
Can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
I've never heard it, and I've never heard of Giga-based dad either. Nah, it's fine. A lot of people talk off their hands, Shoe. It's not just you. And you already, and didn't you already say you're like Italian heritage, so it's normal for you to talk off your hands?
Listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children, and when no children are around, We scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his
Never
main
heard of
topic
him.
he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on like race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up. Nick recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420. People can't afford groceries, Charles. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zoran Mamdani and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop. I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy old dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that the older generation does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this that worked. The American dream does not exist anymore for—
No, it doesn't, because corporal greed has more or less destroyed that. The American dream that used to be there was replaced by technology throughout the years, which is streamlined it all from having like a good factory workplace job, whatever. It's been replaced by automation and shit. So the human job force has just been cut out for the most part in terms for cutting costs. That's what it feels like anyways. Like I said, I am just a cat on the internet.
For most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere.
Yeah, again, like I said though, because the times have changed, a lot of the jobs that used to be lucrative are no longer lucrative, or the fields are saturated because everyone took the same advice and went into those fields. Like, you can go and get a trade job, say, go to school, get your trades and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pay out for you. Like, you still have to find and secure a job at whatever field you go into. Like, I have a friend who went to school for stuff, and now they're going to school again for other stuff again. So it's just like, that's just debt. But, like, it doesn't always work out.
Young people are tired of this stale, moldy old dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and
that's also why I feel like there should be an age limit on how old you can be to run for a politician, because, like she said, the White House is essentially a retirement home. Like, why does the president who's, like, super old need a fucking ballroom? He can't dance. The guy can't even walk after his golf balls.
sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't—
Of course, I was on the wrong window. I was trying to pause the reaction and then it accidentally stopped the recording, so there might be a slight edit cut in there.
towards those who are addressing you. Pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't—
I was gonna say before I accidentally paused the wrong fucking side of the video, I feel like we are really headed towards that dystopian very dystopian future. That with AI and everything now being pioneered as the new fucking get rich thing, and and with robots on the rise and all that, I just don't look. AI has no place in this world. Let's face it. All it's doing is stealing jobs from people, and we already have a job crisis of all the shit that's going on, with everyone trying to take on that same thing. So that should be one thing that should just be flat out banned. Is AI. Like, we have no use for the damn thing. Like, I'm not a politician, like I said, but, like, it just boggles my mind how much shit is going on just to cut corners, to make companies more money, etc. And it's just like an infinite cycle of this. What's the thing? I forgot what it's called, but it's like the snake that eats itself. Ouroboros, I think it's called.
Address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now, with all this neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
I feel like this is going to be heavily rigged in their favor.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net. 2.
Okay, the first one's not bad so far.
Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal is a groundbreaking political discovery. You. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this, I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from Nancy Pelosi, randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
How deep? How thought-provoking. Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
That sounds like a fucking chat GPT response, or an AI response. That wasn't even Nancy, that was probably an AI response.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns.
Bullshit. No one's focusing on climate change anymore, it feels like. You don't hear anything about it. People just talk, sometimes the scientists bring it up, but the government, they don't do fuck all for it anymore.
And let's focus on the economy and middle class.
Especially Trump,
the table below shows this shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform, in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart, because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the gays, 1,044%. Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that shit. Veterans, negative 31. Them. The economy, negative 51, because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about something that...
Again, I'm wondering how much of this is just like AI slop generated, like given results, and not actual people anymore.
Is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It somehow gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd.
Like I said, I don't care who gets in. I want to see results, because like you guys can say all the shit you want until you actually put forth your foot and make your promises that you said when you ran for this crap come true, then you'll get my attention. And so far, like a lot of people who just say everything they want, they say everything that people want to hear just so they can get in. And once they're in, they're like, all right, I don't need to do anything now. I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad again, which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it?
Yep.
Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just the tip. I'm talking embracing Shoecialism.
Go full hog, not just a tip. Words to live by, Shoe.
For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic, but I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are gonna be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f you want to call it, it sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if
the timeline more or less started going this way just after World War II? Is what it feels like. Is when all the industrial might over there was able to just be like, okay, now what do we do? All these things were made for war, and war is over. So what do we do with all this machinery and stuff? Well, now we make products, consumer products and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like the commercialism took over to capitalism in a way.
Instead, we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country. All the data shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the Shoecilist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a Shoecilist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare.
If I recall some friends over in Denmark, college is free, but only if you pass. If you fail your course, you have to pay the entire thing and take it again, if I recall. I used to know somebody from Denmark, and if I recall, like, yeah, it's free, but if you fail, that's it. Then it's like, here's the whole bill. Whoops.
System. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system. Wow, what a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like,
I feel like Denmark's ahead of the ballgame. I'm just saying.
Terminally left-right brain to the point where, like, they look at issues and instead of being like, that solution makes sense to me, I believe that. I agree with that. They instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's why I think like a lot of left-right...
That's why I don't think left or right, because I have no idea what the fuck those things mean to me. I just side with what makes sense. Unfortunately though, like, again, up here in Canada, Canada, things get complicated too when it comes to election shit, because like, okay, you gotta vote for this, but you gotta vote for this other asshole who you know is a piece of shit half the time. And it's just like, god damn it. It's like a pyramid tier of bullshittery over here.
Hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not a fence-sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand. She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll...
Yeah, like, if they don't listen to the people, it's not gonna work out. The people are just gonna get tired of this bullshit, and like, alright, we'll try somebody else. It can't be worse than the fucking clown we have right now, kind of thing.
Own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed. Like, they had a small, brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public.
As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was...
Why does he sound so old and decrepit now?
Put out of the race, I think, quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth. Many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic Yowie ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all.
Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and
Zohar there, whatever the heck his name is, might actually know what he's doing, though, and just saying shit that Trump wants to hear so he can get Trump's good graces. Doesn't mean he won't do what Trump wants in the end, but hey, if he can get on Trump's good side in the start, why not? Like, no reason to piss off the quote-unquote president.
And they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want, left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get there. It just so happens my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to Shoecialism.
I'll pledge my allegiance to Shoecialism. I can't even say that fucking word. But I do not need a nuggie, ma'am. It's fine. I know some people out there are probably like, oh yes, feed me Shoe. There's gonna be those weirdos. I'm not one of them. I'm not interested in nuggie. I'm not hungry right now because I already ate dinner.
And you get a nuggie. So that was that little video.
I wonder how many people would get votes if it was like, hey, vote for me and you get nuggies. Like, I wonder how well that would go over. Technically, it's a bribe. Yes, I get it. But, I mean, is it? It's just like a charity lunch, we'll say, air quotes.
If you liked it, please subscribe for more. And if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video uncensored a day early. If you can't or don't want to support me on Patreon,
that's fine.
That's fine. I don't care. I didn't want you to anyway. Baka. Okay, I will see you guys soon with a fun slop video just in time for Christmas. Bye!
I feel like the VTubers have rubbed off on Shoe. I like immensely have rubbed off on her now that she's just using the lingo or she's watched a lot more anime since the one time. Anyways, as always, the original link will be down below, guys. You know the drill. If you like what you like, give it a like. If you don't have to. I don't care. I'm just here to make the video. Bye for now.